Okay, we'll be making the upper part of this dress, and it's going to be a Mama Africa designed blouse. So I have the upper part here. I folded it into four. You can see it. There's two here, and this is two. So I folded it into four. Right now, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement, but my shoulder is going to be together with my sleeve. I'm going to um, I'm going to mark my shoulder together with my sleeve. So I'm working with a shoulder of 14 divided by 2 is 7, and I want to use a sleeve of 10 inches. So I'll be expecting 17 inches. Place it like this and mark 17. Yes, 17. But she wants the sleeve longer. Okay? She wants a longer sleeve. So I'll make it around 24 so that I can get a longer sleeve. And then from this sleeve point, I'm going to take the round armhole of 9 inches plus 1 inch for each, 10 inches. So here is it. From the chest line, I'll take the bust measurement. I'm working with a bust of 44 divided by 4 is 11. 11 plus 2 inches. 11 plus 1 inch for ease and 2 inches seam allowance, 14. Then I'll also take the um, the hip measurement. Here's the chest line. Let me take the under bust. I'm working with an under bust of 14. I'm working with an under bust of 14. Here is it. And I'm also going to work with a half length of 18. And then here is my hip line and seam allowance. The under bust circumference I'll be working with is under bust circumference is 41. Divide by 4 is 10.25. 10.25 plus 1 inch for ease, 11.25 plus 2 inches seam allowance. And I also need to get the waist circumference of 42. 42 divided by 4 is 10.75 plus 1 inch for ease, 11.75 plus 2 inches seam allowance, 13.75. And I'll be working with my hip measurement. I need a hip of, the hip is 50, divide by 4 is 12.25 plus 1 inch for ease, 13.25 plus 2 inches seam allowance. So here's what I have here. Okay. And then I'm going to connect it to this chest line just like this. And then another thing I need to do, I want this blouse to have a kind of fringe. So I'll be making my fringe of about 8 inches all the way down. So I'll have this fringe here like this. I'll stitch from this point and then the fringe should be here. So what I'll do now, I'll cut it all the way down here. Okay, and then this is the fringe I'll be leaving behind, and I'll stitch from this point down here. I'll stitch like this down here, and then I'll cut to this point. Then let's mark the neckline. We're marking a neckline of about 5 inches. And then the neck length, I'm using 2.5 inches. So here's what I'll have. I'll cut it now. So here's what I have. I'm going to stitch it. I notched out that part where I'm going to stitch. So I'm going to stitch just like this, and the fringe is going to be left here. We'll cut the inner part for this blouse. So here is the material I'll be using for the inner part. I folded it into four as well, and then I've cut out the neckline, but I won't make it to have any fringe by the side. So I'm going to cut it off from here. I'll just add like 1 inch allowance, and then I cut off from here. Okay, I'll be sewing it. It's going to be embedded inside this one. It won't come out in this fringe, so I'll be cutting it out from here. I'll cut it out like this. I mean the yellow one. I'm done cutting it. So what I'll do now, I'm going to stitch the neckline. I'm going to place it like this. I'll also use this one, place it on top of it, and I'll stitch it round. Okay, I'll use this as a lining to stitch round. Alright, I've stitched it. I've stitched the neckline from the inside. I stitched the neckline, and then the inner part, I also stitched it from the inside. You can see it here. I stitched it from the inside. I stitched all of them from the inside. And then this one too from the inside like this. I held it like this and stitched. And here's what I have. So what I'll do now, I'll place this one like this. I'll place it like this. And then I'll stitch it. I'll stitch it with the 8 inches allowance left. So I'm going to stitch from this part, and I'll also stitch this one from this part. I'll do it and show you. So I'm done sewing it. Here's what I have. I want this inner one to be longer. Okay, so when I weave it, I'm going to interlock this remnant. I want this one to be longer than the black net. And then this sleeve here, if you don't want yours to be long, you can make it shorter. Anyhow you want to do it, it's up to you. I'm making this for an elderly woman, so that's why making it for an elderly woman. That's why I had to take this yellow material. I had to take it up to the neckline. But if I was doing it maybe for a young girl, I can just make this yellow one to start somewhere here. I just start it here. Okay, so it's up to you. Right now, I want to make the image of Mama Africa that will be at the front part of this dress. So here's what I have. This is the scarf, this is the face, and the body. So it's going to be like this. Now, next thing I'll do, I need to trace this on my fabric. It's always advisable you use a nude fabric on this. If you don't have a nude fabric, use any plain fabric that will give you the face without any marks or traces on it. So I'm going to use this for my face, and then I'll use my Ankara fabric on this one. I've cut it out, and here's what I have. I've traced it out, and I have this. So I'm going to remove the papers. So here's my patchwork. So here's what I'll be using it on my fabric. I'll show you how to fix it on your fabric. If you want this scarf to have different partitions, It's up to you. You can fix it up on different fabrics. Okay, and then you want to fix an eye to it, here, whatever you want to design it with, it's up to you. So here is the fabric I would like to fix it on. Here's my fabric. So I'll get the scarf first and fix the head and the body. It's going to be like this. And then I'm going to use my glue gun. I'm using B6000. There are different types. I'm using B6000 for this work. Before you glue it on your cloth, make sure you take away this inner part. Here's the work. I removed this inner part because I wouldn't want it to gum up together. And I placed a brown paper beneath it so that it will not join with the back part. Okay? But if you're not doing it this way, you simply do it before joining the fabric. So I'm going to start with the head, which is this. Make sure you do it at the center of your fabric. So here's my head. I'll fix my head. With my glue gum, I'll apply my glue gum to it. After this, you can circulate it with any, if you have brush or whatever you have, just use it to spread it up. Next, I'm going to gum it up to this fabric, just like this. Use your iron to stiffen it up. So I have this already. The next is the head, which is here. So I'll apply my gum. I've attached the head. Then looking beneath here, I want to use another fabric to coat it up here. Okay, so this is the head. I'm going to use another fabric to coat it up because making it all yellow throughout, it's going to be, it's not, it won't, I don't think it will give me a good result. So I want to change the fabric so that the face can stand out. And then the lower part, which comes here. So here's my patchwork. I'm done with it. Next thing to do, I'm going to remove the pattern, the brown paper. Carefully remove it. Then sun dry it so that it doesn't affect other fabric. So I'm going to sun dry it now. You can see it. I'll later fix the earring and the eye.